Hi everyone, welcome back to Tamara Talks Tarot. Let's see what the collective needs to know. This is a timeless reading, so as always, whenever you see this, this may apply to you. Take what resonates. Okay, right away, we are off to a good start. The Chariot. Okay, full speed ahead. Green light. Go, go, go. The Chariot is about believing in oneself. It's about having the confidence, but also the drive to move things forward. Now, with the Charioteer, they have to try and realign opposing energies or opposing sides. What we don't see in this depiction are the two horses or two sphinx, and they are of polar opposites, so black and white or masculine and feminine, and they're meant to be through the conscience and through effort and through trials and tribulations and overcoming obstacles and self-belief and the faith that you can carry this through. You get it going in the direction that you're traveling, in which you're heading in and going towards that ultimate goal. So let's find out more about the Chariot, please. Okay, so you are maybe moving away from a situation, the Eight of Cups, something you've had to bow out from, maybe leave for a while, not indefinitely, but maybe just for a short time. The Eight is about the outer journey, going out there. It is the soul's quest. It's a spiritual journey in which you're trying to find the missing piece to the puzzle. So these cups or chalices have been stacked up, but there's still room. There's still room for more, and there's a lot missing here. In other depictions, it's usually just that one more cup, or, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the Rider-Waite eight of chalices or Eight of Cups. But in any case, you're not feeling emotionally satiated as of right now. Like you're not feeling that complete peace and contentment, which is not always a bad thing because it does keep you going, right? It keeps the drive going, pushing you onwards and upwards. Okay, let's find out what is it that you're moving away from, please. What is it that you're moving away from? Oops. What is the collective? Oh my. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's take these. Two of Wands, so you've been sort of stuck in the in-between. Should I stay or should I go? Going requires taking risks and stepping out into the unknown. Staying is a false sense of security and safety, because what you think is peace could very well be just you feeling comfortable and scared to venture out. What you could find when venturing out, taking the risk, taking that first step out of that comfort zone that you've created for yourself, is that the situation that you inevitably find could very well be far better or supersede any of your wildest expectations than what you were familiar with or so used to, or thought that like this is where I'm meant to be, what meant to stay. So but you're never going to know unless you take that leap of faith like the Fool, right? So we have that, and this is also about planning, being strategic too, right? Like mapping things out and like, what is my next plan of action going to be? How is that going to look? What is that going to entail? The Four of Wands, like you've built like a solid foundation for yourself, or you're working towards that, but essentially you have a pretty strong, like sturdy, secure basis from which to grow. And maybe home life, maybe you're moving away from home, leaving home. Maybe there's some kind of ceremonial like party or some kind of farewell get together gathering in your favor, because it's time for you to It's time for you to leave. It's time for you to, could it be like your son or your daughter is going off to college, university, and they're venturing out into the big bad world and, leaving their loved ones behind for now and going on this incredible adventure, this incredible journey, and they're being acknowledged for all their amazing efforts thus far. Again, we have a 2, so you're between two minds. You could be in the transitional phase, because the 2 is between the 1 and the 3, and I look at that like you have this room for growth, and it's going to move upwards so long as you keep things progressing. And 3 is all about growth. So you're kind of in this before stage where you're thinking about which path to take, which decision to make, and if you're going to make the right one. And you may not always know for certain. Like, I don't think really, seldom do we know, or if ever we know if we're making the right decision, right? Like 100%. Like, we pretty much have a good idea. Like, we listen to our intuition. So the 2 of Swords is all about listening to the mind, being logical, but also listening to the heart and your inner voice, your intuition. Let them both guide you. Try and find that middle ground where you're being navigated to adhere to both, but ultimately what is going to feel best for you in your given situation. I feel like this is definitely leaving something behind. This is going forwards. This is the apprehension of going forwards. This could be the acknowledgement of you moving forwards, like with the 4 of Wands, right? You come from stability, but you can't just stay there. You can't stay in a 4, because 4s can lead to stagnancy, even though there's security in their protection to some extent. If it's left too long, that's going to give way to this kind of stasis, and that's not going to benefit your growth and your overall well-being. Okay, please give me more, please, for the collective. Chariot, 8 of Cups, 2 of Wands, 4 of Wands, 2 of Swords. Let's get 1 or 2 more cards. What do we need to be moving towards? What do we need to be moving to? I love it when cards do that. Okay, I just have to. Okay, 9 of Swords. To me, this tells me you're moving towards facing your fears. So if you've been fearful of moving on in your life, from a relationship, from living at home, from a job, from maybe a behavior or something to that, whatever fits your mold, it's time to face your fears if you need kind of professional help or guidance. If it's about you addressing these issues and for the first time making them concrete, like acknowledging them, like maybe you've always kind of tried to push it to the back of your mind, or just not take it seriously enough, or not give it much thought or notice, or just kind of try and put it off, procrastinate, squelch them somehow with other methods. I think now you don't have a choice, because your anxiety is like, this is something that, it can't go on like this. It's got to give. So here we have like a pause, like a perspective, change in perspective, and like seeing things without those rose-colored glasses. Like, you need to, if you're going to manifest things that you want for yourself, in order to do that, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to ask yourself what it is that you want to manifest. Do you want a better job, something that's going to bring more emotional fulfillment? Like, some people can do the 9 to 5, can, work and kind of just put up with it and be content enough with it and make the good money or whatever. But a lot of us creatives, and I'm speaking for myself, and if you can relate to this, you'll feel the same, I'm sure, where we don't fit that mold. Like, we're not that typical 9 to 5er, 40 plus hours a week. Like, it's not that we're not driven. It's not that we're not ambitious in our own right, but we just have a different viewpoint, a different perspective on what we see for ourselves or how we view life or what we want out of life, and being more creative, you're typically more sensitive, and there's a depth there that it's not going to feel fulfilled, or you're not going to feel satiated by doing that 9 to 5 office job. I mean, I'm just speaking honestly from my perspective. So this obviously is not going to relate to everyone or resonate with everyone. But what I'm saying is, you need to. And I lost my train of thought. What I see here, there's certainly pauses. So, for example, the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. This is an action. The Hanged Man is definitely in action. Okay, this is you planning, so you're still doing active measures to put that foot forward, right? To step out of that comfort zone, because right now you're at the threshold, the precipice even. You're between two places. For me, the Swords is you're between two minds, right? So the Swords is the mind, and the Wands is the creative action and ingenuity behind what we do, what we put out into the world, right? It's that spirit, it's the active spirit. Whereas I look at the Cups or Chalices as sort of like the more passive, intuitive spiritual, if that makes sense. Because these are two masculine energies, the Wands and the Swords. I feel like action is going to happen, and also sooner than you realize, or sooner than you may think you're ready for. But with the Hanged Man, it's telling me that you need to get out of your own way, and you need to shift perspectives. Just give a little, just to kind of get that ball rolling, because the Charioteer has come to tell you that your ride is here. So either hop in or move out of the way, because I'm moving on to pick someone else up. You know what I mean? And the Eight of Cups is like, you need to search. You're going in search for the thing that's going to feed your soul ultimately. You know, you're leaving your comforts, you're leaving that stability and that sense of belonging, which is okay, because, you know, the Eight of Cups doesn't mean it's forever. You can go back. It's not like you can't go back, right? But you need to face these fears. Maybe the fear of feeling like you're stuck, or fear of failure. And that's because, you know, if you take risks and you're rejected, oh my God, like, so what? You're rejected. You know, we're all rejected in various aspects of our life. And if that had to stop all the greatest people in the world, poets, athletes, musicians, artists, scientists, doctor, you know, then like nothing would ever evolve, and we wouldn't be anywhere like further ahead than we were, you know, hundreds and thousands of years ago. So it's time to face your fear. It's time to shift that perspective and ask yourself how you're going to face that fear. And it may take outside help to help initiate the initial stepping, you know, the foot forward. But I really do get, like, you can't stay in limbo. You can't stay in that in between, because it's not serving you. And I feel like I've had other readings that kind of, you know, alluded to the same thing. Like, you can't just stay stuck. You can't just stay stuck. I just noticed at the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. I love her because she's just pure confidence, charisma, passion, drive. You don't say no to her. She says no to you. So take that as you will, and use that confidence, that creative drive, that charisma, that charm, to move out of this in between, uncomfortable, kind of wishy-washy, neither here nor there phase, right? This is not working. You can't stay here indefinitely. You can meditate, you can reflect, you can plan, you can get opinions, outside help, you can, you know, write your pros and cons. You can certainly do things that are working towards you mustering that inner courage and strength in order to finally move that 2 to a 3, right? So anyway, if this resonates with you, let me know. And thank you so much for watching.